To the most honourable gathered representatives and to all who may hear this, greetings. It is with great pleasure that our Imperial Majesty hereby declares that the term of the 6th Legislature of the Ruling Council has officially begun and shall last from now until June 2018, covering, it says 12 meetings of council here, but it probably won't be 12. That's fine, I should have edited that.
Gosh, you've already succeeded very well.
No, I just copy and pasted this from the last day opening and changed some of the things, but this is about it.
This is on camera, Your Majesty.
In this council assembled, the 4 provinces of the Empire of Adamia are represented by means of their landed noble and their elected councillor. Furthermore, delegates represent our colonies far from this chamber and our citizens living abroad in the United Kingdom and elsewhere. These 10 representatives who form the council joining the 6th Legislature are as follows. Present on behalf of the province of Greater Titania is the Duke of Greater Titania, His Grace Commodore Sir Joseph Daniels, and the Councillor of Greater Titania, our Imperial Majesty. On behalf of the province of Serkatia are the Duke of Serkatia, His Grace Colonel Sir Zach Maguire, and the Councillor of Serkatia, His Grace Sir Alexander Helliker. On behalf of the province of Illyria are the Duke of Illyria, His Grace General Sir Luca Panconi, and the Councillor of Illyria, Sir Jack Sykes. On behalf of the province of Paternia are the Duke of Paternia, His Grace Callum Ger, and the Councillor of Paternia, Her Grace Admiral Emily Simpson. On behalf of the colonies is Owen Davis, and on behalf of our citizens abroad is Asher Bond. As dictated to us by our most venerated fundamental law, the Supreme Directive, this legislature oversees an executive government led by a Prime Minister elected by the peoples of the Empire. The Prime Minister for this term was elected in a national election 2 weeks ago. Of the candidates who stood in that election, His Grace Sir Alexander Helliker received 11 votes, Her Grace Admiral Emily Simpson received 9 votes, and His Grace General Sir Luca Panconi received 8 votes. Thus, His Grace Sir Alexander Helliker has been elected as the 4th Prime Minister of the Empire of Adamia. Last weekend I met with the Prime Minister to discuss the formation of the Cabinet which will run the executive imperial government during this term. The composition of the Cabinet is as follows. The Prime Minister shall be Sir Alexander Helliker, the Deputy Prime Minister shall be General Sir Luca Panconi, the Minister of Finance shall be Owen Davis, the Minister of Foreign Affairs shall be our Imperial Majesty, the Minister of Defence shall be Commodore Sir Joseph Daniels, the Minister of Citizenship and Information shall be Callum Ger, and the Minister of National Development will be Colonel Sir Zach Maguire. Admiral Emily Simpson shall act as the leader of the opposition, which will scrutinise the work of the executive within this chamber. Ladies and gentlemen, in opening this term I affirm that the transitional period has ended and that the Adamic government is now fully open for business in its Birmingham territories. I would like to thank all those who participated in recent elections, both as candidates and as voters. The Empire is taking something of a leap into the unknown at this time, but I trust that this new council will act wisely and in the interest of the nation. We move now to our business of the day. And I'm going to put this to one side because it's kind of awkward holding it all the time. Now, as Monarch of the Empire of Adamia, I am proud to first to hereby call this the first meeting of the 6th term of the Ruling Council into effect on today, the 5th of December 2017. The agenda of the meeting is as follows. Introduction to Council Procedure, consideration of Imperial Decrees 53 and 54, the 2017-18 budgets, and future business scheduling. Are there any amendments people would like to make to the agenda? Any last minute inclusions or anything moving around? Right. So I have here Introduction to Council Procedure. I'm going to briefly explain how the council works, since all of you are new.
A chart and it's like this huge expansion.
You know that it's always something in Philadelphia meme.
Oh yeah. No, that is basically me whenever I try to explain Adamia to people. Yeah, as you know, you're all members of the Ruling Council. There's a very lengthy guide which I posted in the group. It's about, it's about 20 odd pages long. A lot of it is just appendices, so you don't need to know all of it, but the basics are, well, this serves, as you know, as the Legislature of Adamia. It's effectively a debating chamber, so standard debate rules apply. If you want to speak, raise your hand. You should only have one person speaking at a time. And yeah, I mean, again, everything's in the guide, which is in the Facebook group if you want to read about the more advanced topics. You don't need to know everything in detail to know how it works, but there is a handy reference guide. if you want to take a look at that. Before we move on, I would like to briefly open the floor for comments on the State Opening of Council's speech. In particular, I invite perhaps comment from the Prime Minister to begin with. If you would like to speak, the Prime Minister has the floor.
Yep. Do I come up to the stand or just speak from here?
You can do what you want.
Okay, no, sure. Just to get this amazing brief commentary on camera, may I come to the floor, Your Majesty? Thank you very much. Hello there, people of Adamia. I just wanted to take a moment to say a brief thank you to all of those who voted for me in the recent election cycle. As a long-time citizen of Adamia, it is a great honour and it gives me a great pleasure to serve as your Prime Minister for the coming term. I hope that my cabinet will join me into moving into this new age, and that even members of the opposition will join me now, come together to make Adamia as great as we possibly can for the future. That is all I'd like to say. Thank you.
Yeah, thank the Prime Minister for those comments. I'll now invite the Leader of the Opposition to comment if she so wishes. You don't have to stand by the way.
I will not stand.
Okay.
I will be the mysterious figure. Hello, citizens of Adamia, voters, and people who've accidentally stumbled upon this on the internet. As Leader of the Opposition, and the only member of the Opposition in this wonderful mega coalition of Adamia, I hope I can do you proud in criticising the policies and making Adamia a great and diverse place with proper scrutiny and due process, and long live the nukes that we don't have yet.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else like to comment? No?
Okay.
In that case...
I refuse comment.
In that case, we'll move on. This was the introduction to council procedure. It was technically a debate. Weirdly.
All things.
I object to the formation of this council, I object to the procedure, and I recommend it all be scrapped and then
Literally.
just get rid of it all.
I think, well, like I say, everyone's had a chance to speak on that, so I'm going to move that we advance the agenda. Can all those in favour please raise their hands? And all those opposed? I think then we move to... I think the motion still carries in.
The Minister for Finance is jollying.
Well, I mean, did you want to make a comment after all? Do you want to go back?
My comment is I refuse to comment again.
Okay. We move now to Decree 53, which concerns dual residency. This was something which I issued on 5th of November in order to allow citizens to be registered as being residents of 2 locations, which could serve one as their term time address and one as their holiday address, as most of us, well, all of us, currently do. This means that, for example, in my case, I can stand as a councillor for Greater Titania, which is the province back home, despite not living there at this time. Because of dual residency, it's considered my holiday address. So any comments or questions on that? Yes, the Minister of Finance.
So is it you can choose which one to stand for, or is it you have to choose one from the start?
You can choose which one you want to stand for. You can only vote in one, but you can stand in either. Does it say that actually? I don't know. This was a month ago. Yes.
I say that should be in there, that they can only vote from one. We don't want
Right.
any cheating going on.
Yes.
I concur.
Double voting,
Yes.
double voting.
Makes sense.
That would be...
Can't really oppose
As,
that. Not that much
as a
of a dickhead.
mathematician, I
Yeah.
oppose double counting. None of you say
yeah,
that.
no, they
Fuck,
may
it's
only-
shit.
They may only vote in a local election for a given province if their primary address is located within that province.
Not bad.
And obviously they can't stand as a candidate in both provinces simultaneously, because then if they won them both, they'd have 2 seats on the council, which wouldn't really be fair. Yes, any other comments or questions? or motions to overturn? Right, okay, so I'll motion to advance the agenda. All those in favour? And all those opposed? I think that carries. We'll move to Decree 54 concerning the nobility. This I issued immediately following the local elections in order to redistribute seats so that everyone has one seat exactly. Because again, like I just said, we don't like people having multiple seats. It gives them a unfair sort of advantage in voting. So basically, what we've done is this is effectively what made Sir Joseph Daniels, the Duke of Greater Titania, Sir Zach Maguire, the Duke of Serkatia, and Callum Ger, the Duke of Paternia. It also made Sir Alex Helliker the Archduke of South Redamia, and made Emily Simpson the Duchess of Pereira. So any comments or questions on that one?
Just
yes, be leader of the opposition.
I suppose a comment which I have made known to you, dearest Emperor. But the citizens of Paternia were very upset, I guess, at an outsider appearing to come into their territory and have some sort of representative power over them, especially given the fact that Callum Ger is a member of the Liberal Party, and we all know not a single person within Paternia voted for the Adamic Liberal Party. It is a moderate to nuclear so-and-so potential swing. While obviously I welcome organisational efficiency, our citizens, at least in Paternia, were deeply upset by this move.
I acknowledge the leader of the opposition's concerns. What I will say is that we will probably look at a degree of devolution that will be creating local councils, probably. So although the current Duke will represent the province on the council, the actual matters of local government will be devolved. The way I would imagine such a system would work would be that simply all of the residents of a given province are automatically on its council. The population of individual provinces is small enough to make that practical and make most sense. But we'll discuss that at a later date. Any other comments or questions or motions to overturn? In that case, I move to advance the agenda. All those in favour? All those opposed? I think that carries. So, move now to the budget. Now, this hasn't actually been written, unfortunately. The reason being is that I only told the Minister of Finance about it an hour ago, so we haven't really had time. So, we're going to do this US Senate style and write everything in.
Oh no.
Oh no.
The camera could record for 30 minutes at a time. Don't filibuster.
So he's got to walk over, press the button, walk back, continue talking.
Sauna rooms.
Hold that thought.
I've already explained the financial situation to the Minister of Finance, but what I think at this point I'm going to do is suspend parliamentary order for a while so that we can put something together briefly in about 5 minutes without the usual strict debating procedure. Then this can actually be formally tabled and there will be a formal debate on it, although I don't know to what extent there will be any. So yeah, parliamentary order is now suspended and you don't need to ask to speak. I'm going to turn the camera off.